Yes, hi. I am calling this number because I saw it on a bathroom wall. Seeing if you're Brandi.
Greetings, Earthlings. You're listening to Brandi is Going to Hell. I am extremely excited to share that I have all band members of St. James and the Apostles on this episode. We approached this in a very unconventional way, way back in May, actually, the end of May, right before Memorial Day weekend. This interview was actually super fun. We all hopped on Zoom. The boys in St. James and the Apostles mic'd themselves up, and they recorded it all. Unfortunately, I also recorded the podcast too, and my side didn't save. Probably because the power went out or something. I literally have to save everything I do on my personal computer because the electricity trips pretty much anytime the microwave turns on with the air conditioners on, etc. So thank goodness they recorded it, and their voices will be more prominent, which is really what matters, not mine. So it'll sound like I'm on a telephone. Still sexy and sultry, so no worries. I usually turn around my podcasts within a week, but I thought it was super duper important with all of the injustices happening in the world that I take the month of June off. I needed to do a lot of self-reflection. I needed to do a lot of research on organizations that focus on making everybody equal. It's extremely disheartening to see all of these deaths happen and, no one being held responsible for their actions. It's disgusting. And, I am a part of that group of people who are privileged. And, I really do not see in color. We all bleed the same color blood. It's fucking red. And, I needed to take that time to just really refocus my energy on what's happening in the world. And I didn't want to put out a podcast that would distract everybody else from focusing on it as well. So I really hope that everybody listening takes the time to donate to an organization they believe in to help with these social injustices in the world. And if you can't help monetarily, then, encourage people to register to vote. Encourage people to post about what's right and what's wrong. You should post about what's right and what's wrong. We all come from different parts of the world that need to make people feel uncomfortable, and I think it's important and everybody's civil duty to do that. And to quote a legend, Brother Ali, there's no me and no you, it's just us. I would highly recommend listening to that song. It's called Us by Brother Ali, and he really puts it in terms that I think anybody could understand. At the end of the day, this will be a movement that will take more than just a month to address. It is a long haul, and I will be a part of it from when it all kicked off until the end. And my duty here is to use what I have, which is my platform that I speak on, which is Brandi is Going to Hell, to talk about these social injustices and hopefully give people a different insight in order to make the world a more beautiful and better place. Thanks for listening to my little speech there, and I hope you do the right thing. And I also want to thank St. James and the Apostles for not releasing this right away. I took literally over a month to build up the courage to release this until I was ready to speak about it. Had a lot of personal things going on in my personal life, my work life, and I needed to approach this podcast with a very open and positive mind, and I am finally in one right now. Upwards and onwards! To give you more context about this interview, St. James and the Apostles, much like everybody else in the world, is in quarantine, which is when we recorded this episode. They're all in a band together. They were all set to go tour America, and the pandemic happened. So what better way to make creatives put their artwork on a pedestal than working together? And I'm so stoked to have them on the show because they're busting their asses and putting out content and really using their time wisely to make music, to perform it virtually and all that jazz. The band recently released their latest record, Black Psalms, in November of 2019. In our interview, you will hear a little bit about that, and you will also have a lot of laughs. This band is so fun, and they really turn some eyeballs when they put on a live show. And we also touch on that, too. I hopped on Zoom with them after a long week on a Friday of working, and they all were in a state of mind that I wish I was in. So I was on the receiving end, pretty much just laughing at all of their banter. What also makes this interview super fun and really meaningful to me is that, when I was in college, I interned for the Deli magazine in Philadelphia. Shout out to my boy QD Tran. And that working for that publication really molded me in a way that I am forever indebted to. I got to write about the local music scene, show previews, show reviews, music reviews. I got to photograph in bars, which if you want to learn how to photograph music, the best place to start is in a dark room. If you can manipulate the lighting in a dark room, then you can shoot a stadium show. And I am so grateful that I have known these guys for a long time. The last time they were on my podcast was in 2014, so it is definitely a reunion of sorts. In 2019, they were voted Best Band You've Never Heard Of by Philadelphia Magazine's Best of Philly Awards. So get ready. We talk about the meaning of life, weird collections, working on other artists, singing with punk rock legends, and recording their latest record, Black Psalms, in 6 days. Here's St. James and the Apostles.
We are recording. Slate.
All right. How exciting is this? So Brandi's Going to Hell, St. James and the Apostles. This is really our reunion show of sorts. We saw each other last year for Greta Van Fleet, kind of. You guys had a show. I was at the Greta Van Fleet show with Mike, and who's my boyfriend, and another fan. I'm a huge Darkness fan, as you guys know. And was strolling around Asbury Park, very stoned, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that St. James and the Apostles? What? Wait a minute. And then I DM'd you on Facebook, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this the same guys I'm thinking about right now? And it was. So that was pretty cool.
Very small
and
world.
Here we are.
For the record, we do prefer people to be stoned and stumble upon us. That's our preferred method of getting our name out there.
Yeah, best marketing tactic.
I'm surprised how much that's worked in our favor.
So, since then, you've released a new record that
Black Psalms.
is awesome, Black Psalms. And before, Jesus, it's been, the last time I spoke to you since last year was 2014 when you were on Going to Hell the first time. So here we are again.
Damn.
I think that was for Via Dolorosa. I know you did the
So we've
interview.
been to hell twice.
Yeah.
Yes, you've been to Hell twice, but not back. You
Was
stayed there.
that for Via Dolorosa?
Although-
Was that for the second record, Via Dolorosa? I think it
It
might
would
have
have had to have been.
If it was 14,
2014.
Yeah, it must have been. I think the talking point was you guys had a residency at Ortlieb's,
Right,
and
it
that
was
was
definitely
the
Villa
big
Rosa. Yeah.
newsy highlight of it all. So yeah,
We like Ortlieb's to do residencies there because I live around the corner and I'm lazy. So literally between sets, I could just go home and go to my living room and watch like TV between bands.
What was it?
So
that's awesome.
that's why we play Ortlieb's, and we like it there
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
Sweet. So since I last saw you, you've obviously you've got the Best New Band award from Best of Philly. Oh wait, no, Best Band You've Never Heard Of.
Yeah.
That is quite the title.
Yeah, it's a little...
Victor is a really great writer, but it's always anything with Philadelphia. It's always like, hey, here's 2 thumbs up. Kinda. The best band you've never heard of before. It's
it's hard to tell if it's a compliment or like a jab.
Like a neg.
But either way, we'll take it.
Yeah,
You know
it's a
what I mean?
neg. It's like
cool.
it's like a neg.
endearing. So
It's a neg. It's like a good pickup line. You know, like you're being mean to us, but we like you because of it. You know.
In true Philadelphia fashion.
Exactly. No
Yeah.
one likes us.
Yeah, I
no
mean-
one likes us.
No one likes us. We don't care.
Jesus Christ.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
So Black Psalms came out November 1st of last year via Ghost Print Records.
Imprint.
Could you talk? Did I get that wrong? Did I get that right? I thought I read that.
Ghost Imprint.
Oh, fuck. All right.
It's all
Ghost
good.
Imprint. My bad. That's so funny. Anyway, so you recorded the record with Joe the Butcher Nicolo, right? Correct?
That was,
no,
that was the last record.
White Devil.
The newest record we did with a gentleman named Stephen Haas, who lives in Georgetown,
Haas.
Texas.
Big
and he was-
Haas.
And he was kind
Tell me a
enough
little bit
to,
about that.
Yeah, he was kind.
And the record in general, I've listened to it over and over again numerous times, and there's just so many different feels. I feel some Leonard Cohen. It's super dark and lots of soul. It's creepy, and I just kind of
Yeah, it was.
it
We
seems to diverge a little bit from other sounds.
absolutely. We had met Stephen at John and Peter's up in New Hope, and he's sort of in the Ween Moist Boys camp. And after the set, he was like, "Oh my God, I really enjoyed your set. Would you guys be interested in coming down to Texas to record a record?" And we kind of looked at each other like, "Are you fucking with us? Or are you dead serious?" And we were like, "Yeah. When do you want to have us?" And he goes, "I guess."
He met us in November, and we went down in January.
Yeah, so we went down like a few months after the fact, after meeting him, and he definitely delivered the goods. He had a beautiful world-class studio with like a really nice API console, a completely acoustically treated room, and Guy Heller from the Moist Boys actually met us down there and sang on a couple tracks, which was super fun. It was basically a whirlwind week of like a lot of weed smoking.
Yeah, because we went down. We did it all in 6 days.
Yeah.
We drank like
Wow.
100 beers. We went through like a whole bunch of weed, and we
Like
did it
half
all
a
in 6
pound.
days.
I think literally the death toll of alcohol and weed consumption was like a half pound of weed, a case of whiskey, and I think like 15 cases of beer within 6 days.
It was like wake up at like noon, and just from noon till like 3 or 4 in the morning again. Me and Jamie slept in a room with no windows. It was the best thing ever in the whole world. That was a great experience for me personally.
Romantic,
We got to
I
have
guess.
great barbecue. That was cool. But we basically locked ourselves in a room for 6 days, which was awesome.
And Steven had the place completely dialed in, man. It was an absolute pleasure to just kind of go down there and get out of our comfort zone. And we literally got there at like 1 in the morning, and he was set up, and he goes, "We're gonna track right now." And we were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Oh yeah, and a keeper.
So we tracked.
Yeah.
We tracked at 1 in the morning the first song that we played, and it wind up as the opening track on the record. Like we're like, "Holy fucking shit!"
No, it wasn't Silver Sword. It was Love Under Will. That was the one we got that night.
Is it? No, it was
Yeah.
Silver Sword.
No, it was Silver Sword.
Yeah, it
for
was
sure.
Silver Sword.
Was it Silver
Yeah.
Sword? I'm misremembering it then.
Well, because you were
There was a
stoned
lot
all the
of
time.
yeah.
I mean, I should mention we did smoke as soon as we got there. I
for
think
damn
it was
sure.
almost like,
Yeah.
okay, you're here.
Plane rides suck.
Oh, that's so funny. So when you guys do the writing process, are you mostly doing it in the studio? Is it already in the can and you just go and record? Like, what was it like working with him? Did he, walk you through some stuff, give some ideas? Like, what was that process like compared to maybe something you've done in the past?
We pretty much had the songs 99.9% together with arrangements and everything, but we always afford ourselves the situation of like, all right, we're going to write a song here in this studio, which was the song, Love Under Will. It was sort of like, all right, let's write a song on the spot, and that's sort of how that song turned out, and it was completely live, which is, it's like, let the environment sort of steer the ship, if that makes any sense, and just the random chaos of like being, in Texas, out of our comfort zone in the studio that we've never been in before. We're like, all right, let's just write something on the spot, throw it at the wall, and see what happens. And I think we kind of captured lightning in a bottle.
And it was nice too, because we normally our process is we make a record, and by the time the record is out, we've already written and started playing the next record live at shows. So it was a little confusing this time to actually be able to like write a few songs there. Like I wrote what's it? The third song?
To sleep.
Yeah, to sleep, a chance to dream, and I wrote the lyrics there on old Bible paper, like the morning of doing it.
Wow.
Like, but that drum beat had been something I'd played for years and years, and been like, we're gonna totally make this into a song one day, all the time. We'd done it at rehearsal, and I would do it for years, every time.
I remember Jeff and I were sleeping in the same room together, and he was like, "Oh, I guess we need to put lyrics to this song down today." We just kind of sat there.
Yeah, I had the chorus, and that was
the chorus,
it.
We just sort of wrote the lyrics on the spot, you know, and it is what it is sometimes.
Ran downstairs and did them.
Ran downstairs and did them, and Guy Heller sang lead on it. And
Yeah. Actually, I recall we had you and Guy together when you were cutting the vocal, and you guys were both shit hammered.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Well, Jeff didn't want to sing on the track. Jeff was basically like, you know, I don't sing, you know, like let me, and I kind of.
I'm not Phil Collins.
I convinced Jeff. I'm like, listen, you need to sing with Guy Heller. You guys need to sing together so you can show Guy where you want the lyrics to fall and the cadence of the song.
He tricked me.
And I basically tricked Jeff into singing the lead on the song.
Because why wouldn't I want to sing with a punk rock hero of mine? And he tricked me. Yeah, fooled me hard.
I got you, motherfucker.
He was all like pushing on me and stuff, like to get closer to the microphone. I'm like, why is he touching me so much? Now I know why. In hindsight, I know why now.
Yeah.
So when you guys write the music and, you know, everything together, like you said, you know, drummer writing lyrics is not always something that you typically see. It's cool. And how do some other songs maybe come together then? If that's a very, I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah,
very many
I mean,
lyrics other than Hurt, right?
yeah, probably 9 out of 10 of our songs we just kind of throw riffs at each other and just come up with something. Like it was like with To Sleep, like Jeff had that drum beat, I had a bass line for that, and then Silver Sword, Jamie had this riff, and then I came up with this bridge for that, and it's really just we really do write by committee mostly.
I kind of envision it as like somebody brings a piece of clay into a room and you throw it on the table and you create a sculpture together, if that makes any sense. But oftentimes it's like one person will bring
It's like
in,
that part in Ghost.
Yeah, that's that part in Ghost. And we're on the kiln making a little delicious.
But it's
little
three
thing.
of us.
But yeah, somebody brings in the piece of clay and we kind of sculpt it together. And then lyrics are basically by committee. Oftentimes, sometimes it'll be a fully formed lyric. Sometimes it's basically like a great melody. Then we'll figure out the lyrics after the fact. But it's always different from song to song, and actually from album to album.
Ooh, I have a confession about that that song, To Sleep, a Chance to Dream. The choruses had us dream I was sleeping. I stole that from Jill. She told me that one time.
That's true.
She was like, oh, I had this dream I was sleeping. I was like, that's a
I
lyric,
did.
bro.
That's an interesting segue. Say hi to Jill, by the way.
Hello.
Newest member.
Hi. I know. I was going to say, I see a familiar face here. So how did you trickle into the band?
Oh gosh. Well,
Get in there.
when was my first show? Halloween.
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you sang on the record, and I remember like the first thing you did for us was when did you make the merch case? That was like the first kind of.
Oh gosh.
Oh, God, that was...
I
when
made
we-
that. I was living in LA when I made that. Yeah, it was
Wow,
a long,
yeah.
long time ago.
And then we were out on the West Coast, like San Fran. You came out and hung out with us
I
for a couple
did,
days.
yeah.
You actually saved our lives for those couple of days because it was kind of
A little buffer.
it was a little buffer between like the real tour, which was supposed to like we flew in on a Wednesday, and we had one show to play, and then we had nothing to do until Monday when we actually got on the road with this other band. We toured with this band called Heddersleben.
Heddersleben was not to name drop, but it was Nicky Garrett from the UK Subs, like an old punk band from the 70s and 80s. They still play, but it was his prog rock band, and we had met up with him while he was playing with Nick Turner from Hawkwind. And it was just sort of like, hey, you guys want to come tour with us in LA, starting in San Francisco? We're like, yeah, sure. So we wound up going out west for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And just doing like this weird 3-week tour with these guys.
But to circle back,
Yes.
Jill. So they had known Jill. Me and Jill are dating, by the way. So they they had thought that like I was trying to pull like a Yoko move on everybody when we did the
I hope
Black
it's not
Psalms.
the demise of your band. No, I'm just kidding.
We had had like a you know, oh, there's female vocal on here. We hear it, and we
No, it's beautiful. It's so yeah.
So we were like, I was like, I know a female that can do some vocals. And they were like, no way.
And listen, I
didn't
gotta cut
believe
this off
me.
for 1 second. I was like, talk with Mike. I was like, is Jeff really asking his girlfriend to fucking sing on the record? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? And I love Jill, and I was like, I've never heard her sing before. I'm like, this fucking girl better be able to know how to sing, man. And the first fucking note out of her mouth, I was like, holy shit, I want her in the band now.
Oh, cute.
So
That's
amazing.
so cool.
Yeah, that happened pretty quickly, I would say.
Yeah, I really, really dug hearing the vocals on the record. So that was really awesome. And wow, yeah. So I kind of want to talk about your live show a little bit, if you don't mind. So I mean, I covered you back in the day for the Deli magazine before I had you on my podcast in 2014, but the stars never aligned. So the first time I saw you live was last year when you did that after party show for Greta Van Fleet at Laguna Lounge. And damn, it's very in your face and cool, and that's why I like weird stuff. So I feel like I really connected to it, and I don't mean weird in a negative connotation, because I pride that, but like, can you explain to like people in podcast land, like the imagery that you are, putting forward? I mean, I'm an atheist, and I'm just kind of like, I don't get what's happening here, but I really like it, and it makes me feel interested and curious.
I mean, the visage of a middle-aged man dressed up as a priest jumping around like a maniac is fucking definitely not normal.
Yeah, to put it lightly, yeah.
So you'd be shocked about the things you could find on eBay. But in all seriousness, I mean, my whole approach to this was basically like, what is punk rock right now? To me, when I see a middle-aged guy with his charged up leather jacket with spikes on and a fucking receding hairline mohawk, to me that's embarrassing. No offense to anyone that falls into that dichotomy or that image. So to me, to be punk rock is to dress up the way that I'm dressing up right now, because it pushes fucking buttons.
Yeah, it's rock and roll in the sense, and punk rock being very anti,
People can't wrap their head around it. I mean, people are like,
it's cool to watch everybody's reaction in the room, because people are like, but this is really rocking.
People are like, well, clearly they're not a Christian rock or a praise band. Like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, okay, now that we got your attention, listen to these awesome songs. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So.
Yeah. And the juxtaposition between your imagery and kind of like, what the songs are about, and just even the album titles and things like that. How does all that kind of work together?
I mean, another tapping into the other thing with the imagery thing. I'm like a massive Sister Rosetta Tharpe fan. Wonderful gospel artist who, one of the protogenitors and creators of rock and roll. It's shocking that a gay black woman and a gay black man created rock and roll. God bless you, Little Richard. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that's the truth. You know what I mean? But a lot of the me playing a white SG sometimes, and me dressing up the way I do, a lot of it's almost an homage also to Sister Rosetta Tharpe. So if that makes any sense at all.
Very cool. Yes.
That was why I started running around in the crowd as well. Was just to I started doing that in California, was to just freak people out, really. And because I don't wear shoes, so that freaks people out even more, that I'm running around a bar barefoot. But I like getting people involved. Break the fourth wall, Yeah,
definitely break the fourth wall.
Danger.
And I used to be an altar boy and a church organist, so there was a lot of and at least for me, there was a lot of Catholicism growing up. No, that never happened to me, unfortunately. It did unfortunately happen to some people.
Like Michael Jackson, little Timmy to be silent. That's what it's like, correct?
That's why his hair's parted down the middle.
I'll take the fifth, please. I'll take the fifth priest,
Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, even playing church organ for me was, I don't know, after a while it got very boring of like, make me a channel of your peace, or whatever the hell we got to play in Catholic. I know, right? Even
I don't even know any of that stuff.
Even the Catholic lyrics are suggestive. So,
but I think that's a cool thing too, is like, these guys all went through the whole religion. I don't know anything about any religion at all.
No, me neither. So I'm just kind of like,
I just stay out of
here
it.
For the ride.
I just stay out of it altogether. These guys were like forced to do it their whole lives or whatever. So
Jeff's right. I mean, I did 12 years of Catholic school. You know, I learned quite a bit, a lot, at least about the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's the favorite deity of the moment in the new Trump America. But that being said, it's like there's a treasure trove of lyrics to grab into with the Bible that are relevant in an everyday situation, and it's a you know, it's a good thing as a base point to mine from for lyrics when you're at a loss for a lyric.
That's true.
Very true. So you guys are in quarantine just like the rest of the fucking world. So, but you guys are keeping really busy. You know, I've noticed you're doing a lot of podcasts, you're doing a lot of streams, a lot of virtual kind of festivals. So, what have you done recently that people can still check out, and what is coming up? And I see that you also talking about a drive-in rock show. That sounds like I would be a part of that in some sort of way.
I was really just reaching out to people to see if, like, hey, does anybody want to do one? Because
we're gonna see what happens with that.
Yeah,
we'll see. But this whole quarantine thing has actually been kind of cool. It's like a new outlet for us to be creative since we can't go tour and stuff, which we had planned.
Like 30 shows down the drain.
Yeah, we literally just canceled like 30 some odd shows, like as far west as Wisconsin, and like it was pretty fucking terrible.
What does that say, Mike?
Everybody's canceling shit.
Yep.
Oh, hold on a second. Zoom is meeting no longer has a time limit. Oh, okay. I guess they were pulling that 40-minute time limit thing.
They've
with
been
Zoom,
taking
so.
them off.
No longer time limit.
But so we what did we do? So we started doing the live stream just on like a whim. And then we were like, we got to try to do like maybe keep things, you know, like keep things fresh. So then we came up with the, what are we doing now? The album series, which is our Saturday sermon album series, which we're doing. We've done 4 albums in our career, so there's 4 weeks in a month. So we figured, you know, math adds up to something. And then, so we're doing 4 of those. Then we're going to do some sort of a contest we're thinking about to have fans, 4 lucky fans, do make a set list for us of our songs. Then I think we might do like where we each write a set of covers that have inspired us over the years. And we might do them from our parents' house, I think. Maybe. We're going to see. There's a lot of fun things you can do in quarantine, I feel. It's not, you're not locked out from the world.
Be creative.
Yeah, just like lock into the world, you know what I mean, you guys? That's deep shit right there. That's I'm
that's
a guru.
exactly why I wanted to talk to you guys, because you guys are hustling in the quarantine mode, and a lot of, you know, you see
We're
a lot of
thriving in
different artists kind of
quarantine.
just go into their shells and kind of disappear.
We're quarantine.
really cool.
We're a quarantine band.
We're super fortunate. Over the last like 10 years or so, we managed to cobble together and build an analog studio. So we literally been here. I've been here every day, also recording other artists with Mike, and Jeff and Jill are involved in some of the process as well too. So we've literally been keeping busy every day. I think we have 3 albums we're working on simultaneously, as well as doing all the podcasts and live stuff. So we're keeping really super busy actually.
We're quarantine core.
Quarantine core. Core.
COVID core.
Just to cycle back to Black Psalms for a second, that was sort of the funny part of actually going to record in Texas, was that like we had actually built this studio leading up to recording that record. We were planning on recording the record here, but then the opportunity came up with Stephen Haas to go record there, and we're like,
Yeah, if someone cool is like, hey, come record with us.
Yeah, and Steven has worked with you know, Queens of the Stone Age and a couple other notable acts.
Queen.
We haven't.
Moist Boys. So it was like, okay. And the other thing too, working with more than capable engineer and producer, it's like it takes a lot of the burden off of our shoulders too. We can just actually play the songs and you know, concentrate on the performance and
you can be the artist. And
be the
not
artist
worry
instead of
about-
like wearing every hat. You know what I
I
mean?
literally goofed off the entire time. I did my drums tracks in a day and then just like messed with everything for the rest of the 5 days.
And Jeff's full of shit because when Mike and I are like, oh, I can't think of a melody for this, Jeff hums something out. And it's like, oh, that's fucking perfect. Thanks, Jeff.
That's not I do that from the safety of a couch, though. It's great.
Voice of reason.
You guys have a great dynamic. I love it.
10 years,
So-
baby.
Yeah, we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary, man. It's crazy.
If we don't know each other by
Wow.
now, we don't know each other at all.
So we started this band, like Mike and Jeff were in their early 20s, and I was in my early
Gross.
20s as well.
Well, I mean, over Zoom, you look younger than them both. So,
I was in my early 20s. So I can't believe it. Like, I'm going to be like 30 now. and Mike and Jeff are like in their early 30s. It's crazy.
We just turned 30.
oh my gosh. I'm just kidding. You guys all look so young, and it's your attitude, not your age. So you guys are people at heart.
Well, in that case, I died 5 years ago.
Lifestyle, man, really ages you reversely. When you only do stuff on your own accord. When you don't have to, like, be bogged down by anybody, you don't age quickly.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right, Brandi, we're getting off topic. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I really like it. So what would you say is the best way for your fans to support you then? With all the initiatives going online, there's so many different ways to contribute to artists and their livelihood. So what's the best way for that to happen to St. James and the Apostles?
I think Mike can give you all that information, but we like selling tactile, like T-shirts and CDs and records.
Yeah, come out to shows.
Well, there's
Oh,
no
wait.
shows happening, but we still have we still print up vinyl, we still print up CDs. People have been very generous, and we're selling out of stuff, and there's very limited supplies of like the second record and the third record. They're pretty much all sold out. But people have been super generous, like, hey, can you send me like 4 records and a T-shirt? And it's kind of amazing. I guess maybe like a virtual tip jar or something would be cool. If
Where
we're
can
doing
you
live
get 'em, Mike?
streams. But Mike knows all that info. I'm technically inept.
Yeah, no, just you can get all that through our Bandcamp page. Just go to Bandcamp. St. James. Actually, yeah, for whatever reason, St. James and the Apostles was too many letters for Bandcamp, so we're
Everything, it seems.
Yeah, ST James, THE Apostles, all one word, .bandcamp.com, and we got...
I think the link is in our Facebook, though, right?
Yeah.
So just go to our Facebook or Instagram.
You can find
click
us.
links.
But,
links. You know how they work.
We do have a Patreon page set up. Like, we are, like...
We do foot stuff.
Whoa.
Oh, all right.
the first
What
I've heard
tier's that? I'll pay the full price.
That's why I play drums barefoot. It's just a GoPro when we do the live stream on my feet the whole time. Yeah. That's what our Patreon is.
Yeah.
Niche
Oh, that's
fetish.
so great. No, that's awesome. It's really great to talk to you guys. You have a great attitude while this is all going on with quarantine, and you have a new record, and you guys are doing what you have to do to promote it, and that's amazing. And I give you a lot of kudos for that.
Thanks, Brandi.
Especially it's an oversaturated time for this too, with everybody going to the internet, but everybody's here to actually see it. The weather's nice, and in the summertime you typically lose a lot of people because they're out barbecuing and stuff. So it's hopefully we
That's true. I
can
didn't think
keep it up a little bit, but return as soon as possible. While you're in quarantine, just a couple random ass questions I'd like to ask, or just about anything in general. What are you guys watching the most, or are you just working away in the studio every day? Are you quarantine Netflix series, films?
I just finished up the Midnight Gospel, Duncan Trussell's series on Netflix.
Oh wow, I did all the ones I watched. I did not see that one. So
Yeah, check it out. It was made by the guy who did Adventure Time, so it's that kind of crazy animation style. Except all they talk about is psychedelics and meditation and magic with a K, as in black magic, and yeah, it's really fucking trippy, and it's really the right thing to watch in this kind of circumstance, because really the best thing to do is to try and improve yourself on a psychic level, I believe.
Hot.
And that's what hot kinky psychic
James,
level.
what's your show?
It's Jamie here. Hi, how are you, Brandi?
oh, hello, Jamie.
This
I'm
is
doing
my
fine.
sexy
How are
voice.
you?
I'm trying my sexy voice out on your ear canals here. So I go down a long, dark rabbit hole of YouTube videos watching tutorials about old action figures and stuff, and I'm really involved in this microverse called Micronauts, Microloman. But they're tiny little action figures from the 70s, and I just sit there all day and watch videos of these. It's kind of boring, except for weird nerd
Jamie
guys
took
like me.
quarantine to revisit his.
Oh man, you already answered like my next question. Damn it! But okay.
Jill, what's your show?
Jill, what's your show?
So I'm actually currently catching up on The Magicians because I'm a slacker and it's great. But I just watched The Great on Netflix. It was on Netflix, right?
No, Hulu.
Hulu. It was on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
It's probably on a.
I just watch wrestling. A lot of wrestling this whole time. That's all I watch.
A lot of wrestling. Okay.
That's it. All day. As
That's
much
cool.
as I
Do you have
can.
a
Doesn't
favorite-
matter
Do you have a
from
favorite
when.
like man or woman?
Oh, I have so many. Don't even get me started.
So many.
You could
Okay,
have a
fine. I
whole-
won't.
My favorite of all time is probably Bruiser Brody. Gotta say. Just gotta
Okay.
say. Or Bam Bam Bigelow. Asbury Park represent.
Nice. For some crazy reason, I worked with a couple of WWE wrestlers back in the day.
No way. We just became best friends.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't work with very many. It was just a very short period of time in my life. But it was Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, he has the biggest hands.
He has huge hands.
Oh my God, I
was
shook
like
I met him-
intimidated by even
Oh.
shaking them. They're like
Oh.
sausages.
It's so
Like, all
gross.
5 fingers.
Oh my goodness. The biggest hands I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It's disgusting. They're thick. They're
That's
meaty.
funny.
Like his palm is like this fat. You know what I mean? It's gnarly.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, that's funny.
Don't get me down the wrestling rabbit
Oh,
hole.
hell no.
I'll
Yep.
be here all night.
Okay, we'll digress. So, I mean, that kind of answered my next question, though. I was going to ask about some weird hobbies you guys have,
Wrestling.
like maybe even guilty pleasure hobbies. But it sounds like Jamie and Jeff answered both of theirs already.
I collect action figures and weird ephemera and guitar pedals from the 60s and shit. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
crazy.
is your
And I just
collection
wrestle
in your
stuff around my
restaurant then,
house.
Jamie?
Yeah. My some of my collections in the restaurant. Some of it.
Okay.
Some of it's in my house. Some of
There's
it's
so
in the
much of it.
studio. There's so much of it that it's like it's everywhere.
Yeah, you
His
gotta
bed
spread
is
the
made
love.
up of toys.
I just recently took the Star Wars sheets off my bed because my missus was like, "Listen, you're not going to sleep on the bed with the Star Wars sheets. It's not going to happen."
He lives on a life-size plush of Cherry from Pee-wee's Playhouse. And I just wrestle stuff around my house all day.
It's also true.
Okay. I'm assuming Jill's a part of that. But-
Yeah.
Occasionally, yeah.
If she gets caught in the crossfire, it's over.
Power bomb.
You can work it out, dude. You're fucking bro.
He has been.
Have some working out, man. Goddamn, dude. Looking at you.
Rock hard.
Damn.
Those of you in audio podcast land, he's taking his muscle.
They're
and
about
flexing
18
it.
Yeah,
inches
I
around,
mean,
guys. 18-inch
huge.
pythons.
Huge.
It's going to be huge. More quarantine questions. These are fun.
They are fun.
And Jill, oh wait, you said yours. Sorry. Wait, no, you didn't say yours. What's yours, Jill?
Mike didn't say. Yeah,
Oh,
you
me?
go too. What's
I don't-
yours? What's your?
I do a lot of random things.
She does.
I like to plant plants. I like
Plants are the new one.
to
She's growing weed.
Yeah.
I am. No.
Incriminate.
What? What's
I
that?
meant for like guilty pleasure hobbies or weird ones or, you know.
What?
Watching bad movies.
Oh, I watch a lot of those.
That's true. She does do that.
I do.
I collect hands. Can you see them? I collect.
Oh, wow.
I do. I collect their mannequin
Yeah.
hands. I collect old vintage mannequin hands. It's really fucking weird. I'm just
Really
weird. I'm
random.
sorry.
I actually know somebody that's also very obsessed with hands as well. Their whole house is just hand pictures, hand sculptures. It's very.
So,
That's crazy.
I am not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone.
You're
Mike.
not alone.
Can you hold those hands back up again? I actually want to take a picture.
Get the three of them.
Well, we've got this one. This is. No, there's this one.
That's the
Hold that, Michael.
Yes.
And then there's this one. For people that can't see this right now, these
I'm taking pictures. It'll go on the
These are
internet
all
later.
women's hands. These are women's hands.
Here, look. Use this one to show off the other ones.
Oh, there you go. And then, this is hand-in-hand action here. It's hard to.
All right, so everybody, these are actually mannequin hands.
I
This is
dig
what
it.
we're playing.
They're not human hands. The human hands are at home in the basement.
Attached to the bodies.
These are just the castings.
That's Jamie's side project. That's what he's been doing during quarantine.
Yeah, that's rad.
Making
Dismember-
soap.
And Mike,
Just taking long walks. I
I
don't
was
know.
gonna say, Mike's been doing a lot of walking.
But I still eat like shit.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Walking's cool.
Just yeah. I mean, I only live about
hot
15.
over
Yeah, I only live
too.
about 15 minutes from my parents' house.
Seriously.
I only live about 15 minutes from my parents' house, and there's a really nice park around them, Pennypack Park, and I just take 2-hour-long walks there as every single nice day I get a chance to. Otherwise, I'm just teaching. It's not really much of a hobby. It's just my
Jobby.
My jobby.
okay, cool. I dig it.
Yeah. Meditation, is that weird enough? I don't know.
Nice. And I like to ask like deep questions. So like, I don't know. I guess it's maybe just I'm about to get stoned I can't work when I'm stoned, unlike you guys, because it's, you know, your job to make music and stuff like that.
It's my job to get stoned.
If I fuck something up on a band account that I work for, it would be the end of my life and career. So I keep it straight during the day. But so like the meaning of life, I've just kind of been.
The movie?
You seem like the kind of band that would nail a very like deep seated, interesting kind of, and you could answer that in any way. You could make it in a time period or like just what's happening now or over the grand scheme of things or through your music. However you want to answer that question is open-ended to you and how you want to phrase it, but it could even be silly or I don't know.
Not to sound completely obvious, but to me, I've always viewed the universe as being a cyclical thing. Like, have we been here before? Are we going to do this again? Obvious thing would be tapping into deja vu or whatnot, but you know, it's very hard to put your finger on it. But I do go down the rabbit hole of YouTube stuff as well too. That seems to be the only place where I could find anything of interesting content. But it's always like quantum mechanics stuff. Starting to talk out of my comfort range, but you know, it's almost impossible to put your finger on it, right? I guess at the end of the day, what is.
Whoa.
Fair enough.
Well, there is no meaning to life, really. It's just whatever you make it.
Yeah.
I feel. The only meaning in life is whatever meaning you take out of it.
Whoa.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Mine's
I
don't be
feel
a
like Jeff
dick.
got the gears going, but
I mean, life's also too short to surround yourself with people that are takers. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. To me, it does. It's very, very comforting to be around people that are just generous with their time and giving and
no, I 100% agree.
and positive. Like myself personally, try to avoid like psychic vampires, so to speak. There's people that go through life that just take and take and take.
What We Do in the Shadows, by the way. I've been watching a lot of that
Oh
show.
yeah, great.
I need to watch that. I've
great.
still never
Yeah.
watched it. It's great.
But,
Wait, what? Are you watching?
What We Do in the Shadows on FX. He just reminded me of that. But go on with your
shit.
deep stuff.
I've never seen that. Is it
It's
good?
great.
Oh,
it's
watch
great.
it. Yeah,
It's really good. You'd love it.
Fantastic. There's a movie as well.
So, again, it's like we've somehow managed to surround ourselves with family, and it's almost an intangible thing that when we're in the van together for like a week or something after we've been on the road, it's like we start fucking finishing each other's sentences. It becomes one unit. I don't know. I think I'm stoned actually. So I'm gonna show.
I got one. To me, maybe not the meaning of life, but something to make things a little easier is just like, remember that there's other people in the goddamn world, and don't be so focused on yourself to where you're endangering other people.
Yeah, man.
Learn how to wear a fucking mask, and you know, like just be cool, man.
You bought into the conspiracy,
Be
Jeff.
cool, man. That's my thing. No sad.
As long as you don't go down that 5G lane, but
That's mine. The meaning of life to me is don't be mean.
Be nice.
Be nice.
very nice. I was going to ask, so you guys, what are you pretty much quarantined together, or what is the deal here? Like
we all live close together.
We're in like
really.
a mile of
Yeah, we're all
proximity.
within. Yeah, all within a couple.
Like a
we
half
all
a
live
mile.
within like literally probably a quarter of a mile from each other.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, because I feel like an asshole. I haven't even seen my parents in 2 months. I'm like, no, I'm staying away.
We're just
Not
fine
like-
with endangering each other. Nobody else
right.
is in danger right now.
We're
Just
not-
the
we're not
four of
worried
us.
about-
I guess I see Jeff and Joe probably 2 or 3 days a week. I see Mike like at least 4 days a
Oh
week.
my God, so many. So
Okay.
many more.
So, yeah.
7
As long
days
as you're
a
being
week.
safe. I trust it. I trust
8
you guys
days a
are.
week.
Yeah. And we all mostly work alone, really. I mean,
Yeah.
except for, everyone you're working with is like quarantining as well.
Yeah.
So, and I've just been teaching from home via Zoom lessons for School of Rock. So it's just been like, I really don't go anywhere except to walk down the park. But even there, I do wear a mask when I'm down there, and I see people scowling at me who aren't wearing a mask. Like, I'm like,
And when we're in the studio, we're 6 feet apart anyway, so, deal with it. Like when we're actually recording, we're 6 feet apart, so,
But it's weird. I just thought about it. Like I don't think I've interacted with more than a dozen people in the last 3 months. It's so
And I
weird to say
love
that,
it.
but it's true.
And I love it.
We've literally I've only seen the same 12 people. It's kind of amazing. Sort of shrunk the world a little bit.
It's nice.
It is nice.
It is. It's a nice change
Makes
of
things a little
pace.
easier.
So when people were like, "Oh, we're gonna social distance," I'm like, "I've been social distancing since I don't know, fucking 1989, man."
Trying to, at least. Yeah.
Basically.
Excellent. Is there any other stuff that you want to add? Just any other random thoughts, etc. I just really, you guys are just so entertaining. I don't even need to ask the questions. I can
Thanks,
just listen to you guys talk.
No, I'm good.
Well, maybe not to be. Mike and I are working on a really lovely record right now from a country artist named Mark Lanke. We're working on it actually all this afternoon, and he's very much traditional, like 3 chords in the truth country artist. What do you think maybe some of its influences are?
Lee Hazelwood, Glenn Campbell. Jesus.
Yeah. But we've sort of like psychedelicized the record that we're working on a little bit, and he seems to be really taking to it, and we're really excited about that record that we're going to be putting out next, I guess. And yeah, man, we're just focusing on working on other artists, I guess. While we can't tour, we might as well still keep creative.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, that's so great.
Also finished. We also finished a record by our friend Johnny Casino. He's Australian, but he lives in Spain. But he was stranded over here for about 2 months. He was over here. He was going to play some shows, and he's also a tattoo artist, so he was going to do some tattoo stuff as well. Yeah, you didn't know he was.
Son of a bitch! I could have gotten tattooed from him the whole time.
Dude, he's an amazing.
Why didn't you guys tell me that?
He's covered in fucking tattoos.
So am I. I'm not a tattoo artist.
That's true.
That's a good point. But dude,
Oh, God, so funny. What would you
Johnny,
have gotten?
Johnny, if you're watching this, get at me, dude.
Johnny,
but-
come back.
Yeah,
Johnny, come back,
dude.
so
he
you
was,
can tattoo
he
on
literally-
me.
Johnny Casino was here to be on a tattoo tour. He was going to go from city to city on a tattoo tour. I thought you knew that.
How did you
I
not,
did.
how did
So
you
in the
not know
interim,
Because I just love him so much. I
he
just
got
like when he's
trapped here. We're
around.
like, well, let's just make a whole record.
this? Damn.
That's super rad.
So we're simultaneously working on like 3 different records, as well as doing all these streamings and whatnot. But we're also, I guess, we're starting to work on the next record too. It's crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So just
I might have a little secret project in the can that I'm working on.
Oh.
Drummer solo album.
It's just me playing drums by
A
myself.
lot of drums.
No vocals, nothing. No other instruments.
Your narcissism project. That's great.
but actually, all right. Jeff and I were talking about doing a 2-piece project,
Oh, speaking of.
bass and drums, and calling it Cheap Truck. Not Cheap Trick, Cheap Truck. So we were going to dismantle a fucking pickup truck and make the instruments out of the broken truck and call it Cheap Truck.
Wow.
I live in Kensington, and there's an abandoned truck in front of my house. So I'm gonna spray paint Cheap Truck on it if you want to do an album cover shoot.
Cool.
I'm dead serious. I'm doing it.
So we're then going to dismantle said truck and turn it into instruments and make a record.
Yeah, I'm down.
Done.
And then me and Jeff have a 2-piece side project. It's just the stoneriest, doomiest stoner metal ever. And again, just bass and drums. And we're gonna call it Tired Viking.
It's just gonna be all basses.
Yeah.
No, all bass. Since we're all three bass players, and there's no bass player in this band.
And then Jill and I are starting a Tuvan guttural side project called it's unpronounceable, but it's called I don't know how to spell that though.
Jill's got a grindcore record.
There's a guy in the subway that plays that all the
called
time.
Pencil
and it's
Thin Mustache.
so cool.
Yo, I'm doing good, right?
Yeah. Jamie's working on a beard. That's what Jamie's doing in quarantine. He's about 3 months in on that bad boy. It's pretty dope. It's pretty
Full boy
sick.
beard.
It's bad.
That's
Jamie's side project is his beard.
Jesus Christ.
Jill's also working on a beard as well. She's doing a little better than James.
Jeff
Oh
is
my
right.
god, my cheeks hurt. You guys make me laugh. I love it. Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to hear all the side projects you have going on, and I'm.
Brandi, I'm sorry to tell you we were lying. That was a big fib, all of it. We're not.
I
really
mean,
a
I
band.
got a
We didn't
hunch.
even put out an album.
We're not really a band. We're just holograms of New Kids on the Block from 1988.
Yeah.
Black Psalms is a lie.
Black songs that never. We're holograms of New Kids on the Block from
Resurrection.
1988.
The new Stephen Haas record.
I'm actually Donnie Wahlberg, and this is the Italian New Kid, and that's wait.
I'm the zigzag guy, the guy from the zigzag bag.
I'm Joey Fatone.
Listen, he says it's Fatone. We really know it's Joey Fat One. Come on.
This is a huge doobie. Jesus Christ. What have
Oh
we
my
spun
God.
into?
All right, off the rails, man. Off the rails.
Off the rails with St. James and the Apostles.
Oh,
We're
God,
definitely
that's
going
so
to hell
great.
now.
Awesome. Well, I really love how you guys are keeping active and creative, because there's nothing more than scrolling through the internet and just seeing people just be like, I'm bored, I'm this, and it's like, you know,
it's
the
the
most
worst.
you can do
I'm
is
sick of it.
create. That's why I'm having bands I dig on the show. That's why
Thank
I
you.
am. Wait, what?
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you for having us.
Thank
This is
you.
all we're
Oh,
And
no
thank you for
problem. Thanks
digging
for
this.
coming on and dealing with my technical difficulties. I never did a Zoom podcast before, so you guys popped the cherry on that one. So thanks.
Whoa.
cherry.
Yeah. So if there's not anything else you guys want to add, do you guys want to just talk about maybe where everybody can find you on the internet? At St. James the Apostles on Insta, or where you're
Yep.
the best platform to follow you on because you're most active on?
Take it away, Michael Kiker.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great. Great.
The end.
And there we have it, folks.
Listen,
St.
I'd
James
like to
the
end this
Apostles on
on,
Brandi.
yeah.
Hell.
But yeah, Facebook, Bandcamp, Instagram, YouTube. We have a YouTube page. Follow us over there.
Check us out on Yeah.
Patreon.
I have a tin can with string.
Check
If
us
you-
out on Yeah.
If you also have a tin can with string on your end, we can connect and be friends.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my God. You guys rock. Well, I think that might be it, but that was really fun.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Brandi, that was awesome. Thanks so much. We appreciate
No,
it.
thank you guys. You guys rock. That was like the laughter medicine I needed for the week.
And there you have it, folks. Philadelphia's St. James and the Apostles coming at you hot. Be sure to listen to Black Psalms on every streaming service. It's pretty groovy. You can find me everywhere online at Brandi Lukas. That's Brandi with an I, Lucas with a K. Except TikTok, that's at Brandi is going to hell. I also want to share that I recently got married in the month of June as well. So, although I am married, I'm keeping Brandi Lukas. It's really important to me to keep my last name because my dad never had any sons, and it is super important to me to keep the name going on and to have it represent hard work and individualism. So, booyah, bitch. I am happy to say that I will hyphenate it in all instances necessary, so I will be Brandi Lukas Airy. Mwah. Love you, Mike. Until next time, this is Brandi is going to hell. Thanks for listening. Wear your mask, be nice to animals, and fight for social justice, baby.